chapter 20, verses 26 through 28. Matthew chapter 20, verses 20 through 28. Say amen when you find it.
Amen.
And it reads, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve.
Matthew 20, 26 through 28.
Matthew 20.
Verses 26 through 28.
Oh, 26. 20.
I said chapter 20.
20.
Verses 26 through 28.
At least we all was on the same.
Right.
Okay.
I had it.
Chapter 20.
Yes. Verses 26 through 28.
We had it, huh?
Oh, I had no 26 on my thing.
He said
Matthew
20.
20.
He said 26 to 28, then he said 20 to 28. Then he said 26 to 28.
He said 20.
Okay, can I start over?
And then he said chapter 5, verses 20 to 28.
Whoever wants to
He said
become
20
great
to 28.
among
And
you
then he said 26 to 28.
must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many.
Yes, ma'am.
Amen. I want to use as a topic this morning, so you want to be great.
So you want to be greedy?
Great.
Great.
You want to be great.
Well, I had the chapter right.
So you want to be great. You may be seated.
That's right.
Now, the world has its own notion on how to achieve greatness, amen, in the spiritual realm. But each path the religious recommends is a detour away from the road taken by Jesus. Today, we're going to look at some teaching that Jesus did, taken from the Gospel of Matthew, chapters 19 and 20, focusing on Matthew 20, verses 26 to 28. In chapter 19, verses 1 through 15, Jesus showed the fallacy and path taken by the legalistic Pharisees, and in verses 16 through 30, he talks about the rich young man. He tells a parable to show that greatness isn't a matter of working harder, in chapter 20, verses 1 through 16. That true greatness is found in doing the will of God by serving others, in verses 17 through 26. And putting our own needs aside to meet the needs of someone else, in verses 27 through 34. Amen?
Amen.
Won't be before you long this morning, but I want us to understand that if we're going to be great in the eyes of the world, we've got to be willing to be servants. Amen? Amen?
Amen.
Jesus begins his teaching about marriage and divorce. It seems that some Pharisees came to him just to test him about this subject. They came here to challenge him on what he believed about the law of divorce. Like so many, they already had their custom of doing things and weren't about to change, but wanted a reason to discredit Jesus. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Y'all know how it is. Some folks don't want an answer to something, they just want an argument.
Right.
Hello? So this whole question about marriage and divorce was a pretense to find something that they could use to charge Jesus with.
Yeah.
Amen? It seems that in the first century, two Jewish schools of thought about divorce existed. One school held that divorce could be permitted only in the case of unfaithfulness. The other permitted divorce for any reason at all. So the question is, for them back then, even for us today, is what scripture rule did Jesus follow? Amen. That's always the personal question.
Yeah.
Well, I got news for you. Jesus didn't follow either one.
Amen.
But he pointed out that God's idea was for folks to have a lifelong partnership.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about relationships here.
Uh-huh.
Amen.
Amen.
Anything less than the ideal involves sin. For one aspect of sin is falling short of God's best.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Amen. A lot of times we get married and we go through the vows and everything, and we say until death do us part. Today it seems like folks mean or until I get angry and want something else, or until something newer comes along.
Uh-huh.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Let me share this with y'all because I got a little experience with being married for almost 40 years, well, 40 years now. That it ain't always gonna be easy.
Amen.
Amen. Young people, when you get married, you might have to make some compromises.
Amen.
Amen. And it ain't always gonna be your way.
Amen.
I got news for many of you. Your way ain't always the right way.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. If you want this relationship to work, you're going to need some Jesus.
Amen. Amen. Big
I'm not
amen.
talking about, like they used to say when they used to cook back when I was growing up, a pinch of this and a pinch of that.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need a whole lot of Jesus
Amen.
to make this thing work. Amen. Amen. The Pharisees, they challenged Jesus with, why then did Moses permit divorce? I told y'all before, they really wasn't interested in this.
Uh-huh.
They just wanted to catch Jesus or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all know there's some folks that just want an argument.
Yeah.
Argument's sake.
Yeah.
Amen. We talked about discernment in this morning Sunday school lesson. Sometimes
Uh-huh.
you got to discern, is this argument even working?
Amen.
I think most of the time we'll realize that it's not worth it.
Amen.
Why did Moses permit divorce? Jesus' response is brilliant. He simply says, because y'all's hearts are hard.
Mm-hmm.
Amen?
Amen.
Understanding the hardness of human hearts, God knew that some marriages would be so destructive and marred by sin that he permitted divorce. Years ago, I had the experience of somebody asking me about divorce. Y'all believe in divorce. And I had the opportunity to share with them, yes, I do. And they said, but I thought you was a Baptist preacher. I am.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you didn't say in scripture that Jesus said that you are not divorced, and Moses said you are not divorced. I said, yes, but here's what the deal is. I would rather somebody divorce than them to sit there and kill each other.
Amen. Amen.
Amen? Amen. It would be better that they left
Yeah.
if you would live in sin.
Yeah.
Amen. Then it would be for them to sit there and argue and dislike each other and destroy the kids.
That's right.
Amen.
Because they going to stand there just because scripture says that you ought not divorce. Or until death do we part.
Mm-hmm.
I have not changed my position.
Amen.
I still believe that there are some situations where it's better to divorce than it is to stay.
Amen.
Amen? God allowed divorce. That's what Jesus said. Now listen carefully what he's saying. He allowed divorce because man's heart was hard and God knew that it was like that. Amen?
Mm-hmm.
So this answer destroyed the Pharisees' reliance on the law. They were relying on the law. A law that they didn't even keep. It destroyed their reliance on the law, for it showed that God's law is not the highest spiritual standard at all. I'm trying to catch that. The law itself contained the proof. God's law was a lower standard evidence of his grace in dealing with humanity. Now, I know some of y'all might be confused on that one. Grace is higher than law.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Grace is higher than law. I would rather have God's grace.
Yeah, yeah,
Amen.
yeah,
than go by the law.
yeah, yeah. Amen.
Amen? What God has joined together, let no man separate. Now, you might be thinking at this point, you might be asking yourself at this point, doesn't that verse mean that Christians today are not to divorce? I'm glad you're thinking that. I'm glad y'all asked that question. Because actually, no, it does not mean that. Jesus was responding to an assumption hidden in the Pharisees' question. They debated divorce because they believed it was the right of an eclectic.
Take your time.
Can you get the word out? Help us, man. I can't get the word out. Ecclesiastes. Okay. That's why you have assistants, all right? Ecclesiastical court to decide who could and who could not divorce and remarry.
Yeah.
So basically what they were saying is they had this court that said to men and women, you could and you could not get the divorce. In Deuteronomy 24, the law simply said that when a divorce takes place, the husband is to give the wife a certificate of divorce. It said nothing about a court. Hello?
Yeah.
The written document in and of itself was proof that she was unmarried and that she had a legal right to remarry. In the first century court of sages, referred to in scripture as experts of law, set in judgment on who could and who could not be divorced. So these courts, they set up, decided who could be divorced between this man and this woman. At times, they even forced husbands to grant their wives written bills of divorce. What Jesus meant when he said, let no man separate, was that no ecclesiastical court had the right to sit in judgment on a divorce case. As the Old Testament decrees, it is a matter for the husband and the wife alone to determine. So next, Jesus, I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. I want y'all to understand this. Next, the people bring some children to Jesus for him to bless, and his disciples object to this action. But Jesus announced to all that the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. That's why it's important that these little kids come to church. They be filled with God's word, be given a chance to sing God's songs, God's praises and everything. God loves to hear the little truth. To borrow from one of these songs. Amen? In Judaism, a child becomes responsible to keep the law at the age of 12 or 13. At 12 or 13, in Judaism, they literally become an adult in the church. In the Baptist church, you might be 40 years old before you become an adult. That's how you be treated. I'm not kidding. The older ones will treat those who are 20 and 30 years old like they still 12, 13 years old. If they grew up in the church, we got to get away from these grown folks now. They got their own family, and we still treat them like they do me. Amen? Not even the strictest Pharisees held that the little children, that is those below the age of 12 years old, were responsible to keep God's law. We know that the little people, if you would, that they don't understand God's word. Amen? They don't understand in the detail that we understand. One of the things that you do up until the age of 11, 12 years old is you literally are teaching them the Bible story. You don't get into the detail till they start getting older. I dare say that there's some of us today sitting up in Bible class now still learning some stuff that we probably should have learned back when we were in there.
Amen.
What Jesus said showed that God related to us in grace and not in law. There's that word again, grace. God's children respond to Jesus' voice rather than live by rules of do and don't do. That's the law. Either you do this or you don't do that.
Mhm.
Amen?
Amen.
No Pharisee could achieve greatness no matter how zealous he was to keep the rules and regulations that were observed as a way of promoting spirituality and pleasing God. I don't care who the Pharisee was. Paul couldn't even keep all the rules.
Amen.
Amen? Let us not boast of all we do and do not do for Christ's sake. Let us simply investigate his word, hear his voice, and respond to what it is Jesus tells us to do. Let's
Amen.
remember that our life with him is rooted not in what we do for God, but in the grace, amen,
Amen.
God showers on us. Listen,
Yeah.
we're blessed by God's grace simply because God wants
Yeah.
to bless us.
Yeah. Amen.
It's not about what we do or what we don't do. It's because God loves us so much
Yeah.
that he blesses us
Yeah.
with grace.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Lord knows.
Next, a man came up to Jesus and asked, "Teacher, what good thing must I do to get eternal life?" Now, on the outside, that looks like a good question.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like he's trying to find that one thing in life to do that will guarantee eternal life. Sounds like some people today. They want one thing to do to ensure that they'll get into heaven, yet they want to raise hell here on earth.
Amen. All right. Amen.
Amen. Amen. If I can find this
Yeah.
one thing that I can do,
Yeah.
amen, I would do that, and then that gives me license to do all this other stuff that I want to do because I can guarantee that I'm going to get past the pearly gate. Amen.
Amen.
I think that's how some people treat joining the church.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to say something here.
Uh-huh.
Some folk come in and they join the church.
Uh-huh. Amen.
But the church is not inside them.
Amen. Amen.
Can I say that again? I think some people join the church.
Yeah.
They take a seat down there. They join the church. They say, "I believe this, I believe that." Amen. But the church rep is not inside.
Yeah.
Amen. Because now that I've joined the church, okay, they tell me if I believe that Jesus lived, died, and rose again on the third day, that I'll be saved. Okay, so now that I'm saved, I got that checked off. Now I can go out and I can raise hell with everybody in the neighborhood. Because no matter what I do, what we say to them, no matter what I do, all I got to do is ask God for forgiveness. God will forgive me. So I got license to go out and raise hell.
No.
Hello? Hello? Yeah. I got a license to go out and do whatever it is I want to do. What they forget is, or what they don't know is, that when you ask God for forgiveness, you got to repent of that.
Yeah.
See, we want to do everything we want to do, but we don't want to change to do what God
There
wants
you
us
go.
to do.
Amen.
I'm going to get done with this in a minute. The approach of this young man is another approach people have taken in an effort to achieve spiritual greatness. I asked a question. So you want to be great?
Mm-hmm.
What are you willing to do for Jesus for that greatness? Amen. Jesus responds to this young man and he says, "Go sell your possessions and give to the poor. And when you get done with that, then come and follow me."
Uh-huh.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Come on.
Let me make sure I'm clear on this. You want me to sell my house?
Yes.
You want me to sell my car? You want me to sell all my other stuff?
Amen.
And then you want me to follow you?
Come on. Come on now. Come on.
Boy, you see my house? You see my new car? You see my other stuff?
I have. Yes, sir. Come on.
And I'm being told I'm supposed to sell all that. Grandma, I'm not sure that's going to work.
Amen.
He said, sell all your possessions and give to the poor. That was the other thing. I'm supposed to sell all my stuff and give to the poor.
I didn't even listen to that. Yeah.
And then I'm supposed to go and follow you. And it was designed to show the young man that his wealth came before God.
Yes, yes.
That's how a lot of us are. Amen. How many of us and our family members, neighbors, and friends have this attitude? If God asked us to sell all we had and follow him, and I know as I went through that demonstration, a lot of y'all were thinking in your head, oh, no, I can't be doing all that. Believe it or not, there are people who have done that.
Yeah.
There are Christians who have done that. There are missionaries who have gave up everything to follow and do what God tells them to do.
Amen.
Our problem is we so stuck on our
Yes.
ways.
Yes.
Ain't gonna last
Yes.
no way. And if they still here when we go on to the next life, somebody else gonna be using them anyway.
Amen.
How many of us are like this rich young man, too attached to our possession to truly follow God? Scripture says that he went away sad, for he was wealthy. I got news for y'all. Y'all realize that as poor as we are in the United States, we're wealthier, amen, than 90% of the people around the world.
Amen.
We throw away more stuff
right.
than most people have.
It's all right.
And we constantly get more and more stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello?
Amen.
The first commandment of the 10 is you should love the Lord your God. No matter how benevolent or gentle a person may be in his relationship with others, unless he or she loves God supremely, there can be no spiritual growth or achievement. Amen? Unless you love God. You got to put some things to the side. Amen? A lot of us don't come to church because we're busy doing our own thing. Amen? A lot of us don't come to Bible study because we're busy doing what we want to do. A lot of us don't make it to Sunday school. Why? Because it's inconvenient for us. And yet the same folks are the ones crying to God, Jesus, help me. Amen? And they want Jesus to come right when they call for him.
Yeah.
Amen. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm trying to save some souls here.
Amen.
Let's remember this: when the humanists praise good works and assume all that counts as being or doing good, the best person in the world who does not love God has broken the first and the greatest commandment. For our supreme obligation is to love the Lord with all our heart.
Yes, yes.
When the rich young man left, Jesus turned to his followers and said, truly, I tell you, it is hard for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yes.
Again, I tell you, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God.
Yes.
Now, Jesus is teaching this. He's telling the disciples this, and they turn in shock and they ask, well, then who can get in heaven? Which is a really good question. And Jesus responds, with man, this is impossible. With God, all things are possible.
Amen.
You know, I'm glad God is in charge, y'all. I'm glad that God got everything in control. I'm glad that God is the supreme being. Because if I was waiting on man to open up the gate and throw the gate and let me in, he might not let me in because I'm black. He might not let me in because I'm poor. He might not let me in because I'm short. He might not let me in because I just live in this neighborhood. Y'all get my point?
All right.
Then Peter says, we left everything to follow you. I like Peter because Peter said exactly what everybody else is thinking. Peter just said it. Amen? Y'all remember that question that everybody said that's dumb? That's Peter. We have left everything to follow you. What then will there be for us? Now, I know that the rest of the disciples were thinking that same thing. All right? And Peter was the only one that gave his verdict. Jesus already knew what they was thinking. Peter and the other disciples did not choose to follow Jesus for what they gained. Remember, Jesus didn't promise them anything. He just said, follow me and I'll make you content me. Right? travel all over the world. He just said, follow me.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
But like them, don't you sometimes wonder in this Christian journey, what's in it for me?
Come on.
Hello?
Yeah.
Jesus reassured them and us, no one who follows Christ will lose. What we gain will be 100 times as valuable as what we're asked to give up. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen. It may not look like it right now. It may not look like it in the situation that you're in right now. It may not look like it when your job is falling or when you're sick or something like that, but just stay on the path.
Amen.
Amen?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that God is going to take care of his own.
Yes, sir.
God is going to make sure that you have what you need.
Yes, sir.
Now, it may not be the steak and eggs that everybody else is eating, but if it's a pot of beans, at least you got something. It may not be that house in the gated community, but if you got a tent to live in, at least you're not out in the cold. All this, Jesus promised the disciples, and he promised us. He said, all this, I promise you, and eternal life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know about y'all, but Jesus is taking care of me and mine.
Amen.
Amen. And I'm looking forward to that eternal life. Amen. Because things ain't always worked out real good here. Amen. But what I do know, Morty, and what I do know, church, is after all of these years, Jesus has been right there to be right there to help me out. Things ain't always been the way they ought to be. I got news for you. I can't blame everybody else for me messing stuff up. Sometimes stuff got messed up because of what I did.
Yeah, man.
Jesus goes on to an interesting parable about the vineyard workers. The vineyard owner agreed to pay the workers a denarius. And this story of Jesus troubled a lot of people. Some think the owner of the vineyard was unfair. Yes, he paid the first worker fairly. We know that a denarius was a day's wage in the first century. But we can understand why those who had worked all day for the agreed wage was upset when at the end of the day, those who labored for just a few hours got as much as they did. Basically, what the vineyard owner did was he went out and he saw some guys spinning around. He said, go out in my field and work in my field. I'll pay you what it's worth for the day, the denarius, right? So they went out about 6 o'clock in the morning. He goes out about 9 and he finds some more people. He said, go out and work. Goes out at noon, he finds some more. He tells them to go out and work. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, go out and work. Finally, about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, last hour of the day, he goes out and he says, go out and work and I'll pay you. So now everybody lines up, because back in those days, you got paid on a daily basis. You get 2 weeks, you get. They get to the end of the day, and he brings the last one in, he gives them a denarius. And the other ones thinking that they were going to get more because they were there all day, he gives them a denarius. And they get upset about that. Y'all shaking y'all head. Y'all be upset too. Somebody shake y'all head. Amen?
Yeah, amen.
So what was Jesus saying here? Simply this. Some people want to put relationship with God on a work for hire basis.
Yeah.
Y'all can get that one. I'll work harder at being a good Christian than others. I'll go to more meetings, serve on more committees, be out every night of the week. And those folks often assume that they'll be rewarded for being so busy. You ever notice a Christian is so busy down here, they ain't no good? I mean, they constantly going doing this, that, and the other, trying to prove to everybody else that they holier than you.
Yeah.
The problem is, relationship with God is based on God's generosity. Amen. God relates to us, and here's that word again, grace. Not on the basis of our work. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you today, you can't do enough works. Earn your way right.
Yeah.
That means I don't have to work no. It don't mean that, because Scripture also says that those who don't eat don't work to me. Right? You're going to have to do some work. Right? The person who serves God out of love, now get that? serve God out of love. Y'all got that?
Yes, sir.
You serve God out of love. That means that I'm going to serve God despite how inconvenient it might be.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to serve God no matter how inconvenient it might be.
Mhm.
Amen.
Let me say that again. I want to make sure everybody got that. I'm going to serve God.
Yeah.
If you put your name in there, blame is going to serve God.
Amen.
No matter how inconvenient. Because I got news for you. You say that, and you make that declaration, God will put you in some inconvenient position.
right.
You really mean what you say.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's inconvenient to get up after you done worked all Saturday night, but if you get up and you done made that commitment, you're going to get up and go anyway.
Amen.
Hello?
Amen.
I know. I used to work all night.
Amen.
Get up and go to church Sunday morning. Amen? And yeah, 11 to 7 o'clock in the morning, or 12 to 8 in the morning. And guess who was the first one in Sunday school?
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
All the way through the 11 o'clock service. Now, I didn't make it to a lot of the afternoon services. I'll make sure I'm there at 11 o'clock. Hello?
Amen.
Why? Because of this. I made a commitment.
Yes, yes, yes.
Amen?
Amen.
The person who serves God out of love will, of course, be rewarded. But the person who serves actively because he thinks this is the way to make points with God is doomed to disappointment.
Amen.
We don't achieve spirituality by being busy. Hello?
Amen.
God calls us to love him and to serve others. We can become so caught up in doing things for him that we forget to simply love God. And we forget to stop. We forget to listen to people and try to respond to people's needs. The person who is so active in church may very well be drying up spiritually and spending time in his or her energy in an unproductive way.
Amen.
I work with a lady who, all she talked about was her pastor's wife. She talked day and night. She talked about what she was doing for the pastor, what she was doing. And I said, did it ever occur to you that you may be doing too much? That you may be overstepping your boundaries? Nah, my pastor loved that. He liked doing he liked all this stuff. I said, did you ever think about how your pastor's wife might feel? Yeah. No, because she loved me too. I'm doing all this. I'm doing the right thing. I said, Reverend, I thought you were a pastor. You're trying to put me down. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm just telling you from the pastor's perspective.
Amen.
So time goes on. And she's doing all, instead of doing her work, she's doing church work at work. Now, don't get me wrong, because I did the same thing sometimes. But it got to the point where she was doing transactional telephone for the pastor. She's calling the pastor 3 or 4 times a day. And then one day she came in. This is shortly after I retired. I went back up to see her. I was seeing some of the people. And they told me that she was no longer in the church. She stopped being in the church. Got a little bit away from me. And things like that. So what it turned out was that the pastor and his wife talked to her about her behavior. And she got upset about it and left the church. So the next time I saw her, I asked her about going to church, because she asked me where the church was. I said, you need to be back in church. But I'm not ready to be back in church. I hope and I pray that she went back to church. I don't know if she went back to that church, but I hope and I pray that she went back to church. I hope that she learned something from that experience. But there are people who are like that, amen, who are drying up spiritually, yet they spending all the energies and everything in an unproductive way within the church. So, the last will be first and the first will be last, Matthew 20:16. What does that mean? Simply that those who appear to be first and the spiritual lineup, based on their strict religion, their benevolence, or their active involvement in church affairs, won't be first when judgment day comes. When we appear before the judgment seat of Christ to receive our awards, those at the head of the line will be simple folks who have heard Christ's message about greatness and have taken it to heart. So you want to be great. Those who, as Jesus taught in Matthew 18, seek out and rejoice with the law, seek harmony with the body of Christ, and are ready to forgive others because they themselves have been forgiven by God. Somehow, we can't seem to get it through our heads, can we? I suppose it's all right. Even Jesus' disciples took such a long time to comprehend the simple things Jesus taught. And that was, so you want to be great, then you have to serve. Y'all got that?
Yeah.
James and John didn't understand as I run to a close. They asked their mother to lobby Jesus for a top position in his kingdom. One, can I let my one son sit on the right and my other son sit on the left? Jesus shook his head, amen, because he knew what that was going to take. And told the two, they didn't know what they were asking for. Sometimes, y'all, we ask God for stuff and we really don't know what we're asking for.
Amen.
High rank in the kingdom of Jesus called for drinking his cup. And that cup in Jesus' case was death on the cross. James and John, y'all don't know what y'all asking for. Y'all gonna have to drink my cup. And if you drink my cup, that means you gonna have to die a horrible, painful death.
Amen.
Jesus tried to explain to them the high position in the secular world means to have authority. It means lording over people. Amen? Jesus, on the other hand, came to be a servant and like a slave to put the good of another before his own. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be Christ-like, be willing to serve somebody else.
Amen.
I suspect the disciples still didn't see what Jesus meant. Perhaps we wouldn't see it either if it weren't for an incident which chapter closes with. Jesus led his disciples away from Jericho up the road that led to Jerusalem and crucifixion. Now, how heavy Jesus' heart must have been, where he knew what was waiting for him in Jerusalem. He knew they were going to be praising him on Sunday when he rode in, and by that Thursday and Friday, they're going to be yelling, crucify him. That's how fickle people are. One day they like you, the next day they're ready to crucify you.
Amen.
And as he left, two blind men, hearing from the crowd that Jesus was near, cried out urgently. The crowd tried to hush him, but the men shouted all the louder. That's when you determine to be blessed. You won't let nobody shut you down. And Jesus stopped, and he called to him, and he said, and get this, y'all, he said, what do you want me to do for you? He's on his way to be crucified. He's on his way to be whipped. He's on his way to be spit on. He's on his way to folks to betray him, and yet he stops and says to these two men, what do you want me to do for you? That's the question we ought to be asking folks. What do you want me to do for you?
Yeah.
But instead we reverse it. What can you do for me?
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And so at last we begin to get the understanding of what Jesus meant when he said being a servant. Greatness in the kingdom of Jesus is stopping to help the needs of somebody else. It is setting aside for the moment our own hurts and our own concern to listen and then ask, what do you want me to do for you? How many times have you been trying to help somebody, and while you're trying to help them, all you're thinking about is how bad you've been hurt? Or somebody stopped to try to help you, and all they talking about is what folks have done to them. What the church done done to them, how the church didn't help them, how the church didn't do this, how the pastor didn't do that, how the deacons didn't do that, how the mothers didn't do that, how they talked about my children. But the question is, what do you want me to do for you?
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
We may be little in the eyes of other men and women, but if we follow Christ's example of servanthood, we will be great in the eyes of God. In order to be a servant, you got to be willing to serve somebody else.
Amen.
Amen? That means you got to get up and you got to get ready, and you got to prepare yourself, and as far as getting ready, and you got to go out and do what it is God wants us to do.
Amen.
If we follow Christ's example of servanthood, we will be great in the eyes of God. So let us begin each day asking God for an opportunity to serve. And don't be surprised when God gives you that opportunity to serve. Amen?
Amen.
Because if God gives you that opportunity, let me give you an example. When God gave me the opportunity to serve, it was always on the job that I was in. Why? Because the majority of my day was filled up at the job. Hello? So God's going to give you an opportunity to serve right where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah.
Whether you're retired and you're at the grocery store, or you're retired, you're at the gym, or you're just doing whatever, God will give you an opportunity to serve. The question is, are you willing to take the challenge?
Amen.
And here's what happens. A lot of times we say, God, give me an opportunity to serve. And when he do, then we chicken out.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Amen.
You say, God, I don't know what to do. God, I don't know how to do this. But I guess what? When Scripture says, when Jesus said, come and follow me, I'll make you fishers of men.
Yeah.
What he said to them is, I know y'all not trained. Come on with me anyway. I'm going to show you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Hello?
Amen.
So when we ask God to give us an opportunity to serve, and God gives us an opportunity to serve, our next request is, God, what do you want me to do? And how do you want me to do it? And what do you want me to say? John Wesley said it better than I had this quote up in my office at home for a long time. Do all the good you can do, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you can.
Amen.
Amen.
And the church said, amen.
Amen.
So you want to be great. If you want to be great, you have to be a servant.
Amen.
Amen. If you don't get anything else out of this teaching ministry that we have here at White House, I want you to realize that you're going to have to serve somebody else. It's not about other people serving you.
Amen.
It's about what you can do to serve others.
Amen.
Amen. So you want to be great. Amen. This time we want to extend the invitation for discipleship.